and he just starts pummeling at the bomb at the center of it. There's kind of like a center like blood pool to this bomb, and he's just pummeling it, doing everything he can. You see the ichor flying up, and and Gorr's like, how is this happening? What in God's name is going on? And old Thor's like, he's dying like a god. He's doing everything he can, which is what a god would do. We see Gorr torturing someone. Okay? And in the communication, you get the idea that this guy's a slave. He stole some bread, and he's like, how dare you steal from me? I'm Gorr. What are you god of? Now we see it's a god. And he goes, they called me, whatever, the god he was. I believe it's a Norse pantheon. The name is escaping me. But it's a god. And he's like, well, this is what you get for stealing from me. And next shot is just like this god crucified looking over a field of other slaves doing some work. Now we cut again to Shadraks and the old librarian, and they're like, all right, we got to talk to the people at the city hall, let them know what's going on, what's happening here. He goes, who are you again? Shadraks? And like, Shadraks, yeah, I'm god of lollipops and lemonade. He's like, like, come on, who are you? I'm Shadraks, a god of fresh cut grass and mushrooms. And he's like, who are you? And he's like, just like railing into him like the librarian guy does. And he goes, I'm Shadraks, god of bombs. And we pan to this over the field of slaves, like working on something, this huge black sphere. And this last section is called the God Bomb.
Dude.
So the reason why Gorr kept this guy around is because he tortured him to teach him how to make a God Bomb.
Are all the slaves gods?
Yes.
They're gods he's kept alive?
We'll get there.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is the final act. Okay.
Yeah.
So now remember the two Thors are together. We got Avenger Thor.
Yeah.
And we got
Old Man Thor.
Thor, the Allfather.
Yeah.
Is the more
Odin Power Thor.
Yes, and he does have the Odin power.
Okay.
He's got the what's it called?
Odin Force.
The Odin Force, but it's called the Thor Force in this.
Nice.
Pretty sweet, right?
Thors.
Now it's the Thors. Yeah. So I'm still commenting that this is the final act. We know what it's about. There's the Thor, the God bomb. Something about a bomb to kill gods. Great. So we cut back to we're with Thor, Old Man Thor, and Avenger Thor, and he's like, "All right, man, we got to prepare." Hey, by the way, real quick, I'm just trying to figure out which Thor you are. Are you the Thor that becomes like a space police guy? And he's like, "What?" He's like, never mind. We'll get to that later. Anyway, so he's like, it doesn't matter. Hey, remember that room where I told you, where Odin told us? Odin told us, like we weren't allowed when we were kids. Yeah, it's at the end of the hall. He's like, yeah, do me a favor, go there. There's some stuff that you need. He's like, okay, cool. So the Thors separate. Old Man Thor goes to like graves of his children and like apologizes. Like, all right, well, this is the last stand. I'm doing what I can do. I'm sorry for what I brought you. And young Thor, he goes and
normal
finds,
Thor.
Sorry, normal Thor.
Thor.
Sorry, Avengers Thor, because it's old and young together there. But yeah, Avengers Thor gets to this secret door that he's been told not to get to. And he opens it. It's just kegs forever. It's just an endless thing of meat. And Thor's like, oh, okay. This is what I'm here for. So they load up this like space ship, so like a Viking long ship, but for space. They load it up with meat, and they grab some weapons. And they're like, all right, let's go. And they just ride the cosmic waves as fast as they can to this place because they figured out where they have to go. Okay. For Gorr's like planet where he's building this bomb. Okay. So now we cut to a young Thor laying in a bed full of women after he believes he just killed Gorr, and he hears something outside. He's like, what's going on? He goes outside, berserker dog, got a crystal in his hand, throws it at his feet, and he disappears. And we get this is like a blood crystal that teleports him. Boom, young Thor appears.
So Gorr wants them all together.
No, Gorr wants young Thor because young Thor's the one who did the thing. Cut his arm off.
They're all the same guy, man.
Yes, but that's the time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Remember, Shadrack told Avenger Thor, this is because of what you did in this cave, right? So it's only a couple days later. Berserker dog comes, throws the thing in his feet, and we have young Thor teleported to this planet. That's the one he wanted to bring. This is the one he's really mad at the most.
Yeah.
And this Thor just basically
But he's not missing an arm anymore.
He is. This Gorr is missing an arm, but it's sorry if that wasn't clear, and I didn't say this, but it's like a black ichor arm, if that wasn't a thing.
Oh.
So at this point, yeah, it's like he can
Quit harping on it, man. Get over it.
He's got the black ichor. What's the big deal, man? Just recreate your arm.
Yeah.
Old man Thor's missing an arm too, but it's
you don't see him whining about it.
He's like, it's great.
He's more upset that you killed his whole family.
Exactly. Much more upset. Okay, so this Thor gets turned into a slave, and he's like making him work, and and Gorr's like, "This is it, man. This is the thing. You're gonna drive the last nail into this bomb, whatever the thing is." He wants this Thor to be the final piece of the puzzle. And you meet something very fun here. So there's these three women who are like Thor falls over at one part. They're like, "Get up! You're causing us more problems than anything. Stop, talking about how you're gonna kick everyone's butt." You're going to get crucified up there. And you see three girls. It's later revealed to be that they're his grandchildren. They are the three goddesses of thunder.
That's
thousands
cool.
of years in the future. Just a fun little thing. So not all gods are
But they
dead.
don't recognize him?
No, because he's young. He's
They didn't
like
see pictures of him when he was hanging out in high school?
No, they don't got photography in Asgard, man.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
They know what their dad looks like, and he looks like more rugged and old,
Yeah.
right? And this Thor is shaven.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they've met these three girls, right? And later, after the work is done for the day, I guess they get some break at night. They got to sleep. You can't not let them sleep. They're like in a cave at night. There's a bunch of different gods. It's really fun. It's like all these, like there's a cat god and a sheep god, and like blue ones, gray ones. All these, clearly it's just a bunch of gods from different planets. And they're like, all right, guys, this is our last hurrah because tomorrow the bomb is done. We got this thing and we can try, but we need to make a plan. And Thor's like, I'm your god for this. I got it. And they're like, yo, chill, bro. Come on, Chad.
Stop being such a mega Chad.
Yeah. So he's like, no, I got it. And they reveal that they've got this crystal that's some sort of bomb. Okay?
Bombs within bombs.
Bombs on bombs on bombs. And they're like, all right, so we got to make a plan because the second we start running, the berserkers will take us over. And, it's going to be tough. And they're like, where's Thor? And then we just get young Thor.
Leeroy Jenkins.
Literal Leeroy Jenkins, like football holding this thing under his
Yeah.
arm, just sprinting at this bomb with the crystal in his hand, right? And he's running, gets through the berserkers, gets to the bomb and hits it, and there's a big explosion. Okay, I'm going to cut to something real quick. Now we get Gorr coming to bed for the night because at the same time they're having this meeting, he's going to bed for the night. And there's a woman in bed. She calls him my love. And you get that there's a woman in his life again, right? And she's praising him. She's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens after this is all done. Wow, everything you've done, I mean, it's incredible. You are so amazing. I can't wait to see a world without gods. He's like, yeah, we'll get there. He's just not fully convinced of it, but he knows that tomorrow's like the final thing. So let's cut to the middle-aged and old Thor, Avenger Thor and Old Man Thor. And they're on the ship. And suddenly they're like getting close. And they're like, they see in the spaceways just like chunks of God, right? And space sharks eating the chunks of God. Real thing. They're like glowing green sharks eating the chunks of God around the planet. Like, like Gorr killed him and threw him out into space and just be chunky.
Okay.
Right?
Just
so they're flying through
Campbell's
like
soup.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my God, that space shark's coming at us, right? So the shark comes, one Thor hits it, and then on the deck of the ship lands young Thor. Like the explosion went off, and he got blown into space and landed on the ship with the other two.
Quite literal divine intervention.
Yes. So all three are together now. And they're like, oh. All right, I guess you're
me.
Yes.
They're both like that, man.
Exactly. They're like, ugh, that version. All right, I guess it'll be helpful. And he looks at both of them and is like, you have Mjolnir? What the hell, man? I want one too. They like find him a hammer. It's a long one, like a war hammer, like a maul or whatever you want to call it. A mace or not. A big old war hammer. And they're like, they get prepped. They know they're close. They're about to come down to fight. Okay? So now we get to this part where they're coming towards it and they're like, all right, let's make a plan. And The second they get close, what do you think happens? Young Thor's like, yeah, plan. Just jumps off the ship and starts like flying at Gorr. Okay, they're fighting. It's like a crazy all-out wacko fight. You know, just 3 Thors, 2 with Mjolnirs, fighting him in the air, in the spaceways, and Odin Thor, so like old man Thor, right, with the Thor force. He's like, all right, boys, this is our shot. And he goes boom and shoots the Thor force at him. And this guy goes flying like they make note that it's like cosmos away. They shoot him so hard, but he's still tough and he's holding on. But he's like, oh God, that was bad. And he starts like to, I guess, mentally communicate with his berserker dogs. Like, I'm going to need some more power. Start killing the gods.
He gets got power from killing more gods.
Yes. And this is where that reveal. Okay.
Oh God.
So, they start killing gods. You see it. And then there's actually, I think there's a little shot of like, the wife and the son, because he's apparently got a son now too. I forgot to mention that. And they're like, oh, look, it's happening. We're getting really close. And the boy's like, Dad's great. You know, hooray. So gods are being killed. They catch up to him and they start again just fighting him in space. And then Thor, the Avenger, looks at the planet and goes, that's not good. He sees it's cracking apart. So in the middle of the fight, he goes down, saves the planet from like cracking, like it's like a volcanic eruption. And it's like, and on that day, a planet far out in space, in the corner of space, started praising Thor. And it gives you an idea, like he started getting he got a little more strength from that. He didn't do it for the strength. He did it because he's Thor. You know, it's the right thing to do. But you see how like the people praising the gods give them power, but the gods dying give Gorr power, right?
Yeah.
So big epic battle, and Thor's like growing. Gorr is growing in strength. And then we cut to a scene of like blood in the sky just dropping. And then you see all 3 Thors like defeated, like flying through the air. Gorr's winning. Okay? The Mjolnirs are not in their hands. They're just laying on the ground. Gorr's got young Thor by the hair just dragging him towards the god bomb. He's like, this is it. This is the moment. This is what I've been waiting for. And he's like shoving his face into like this like pool of blood. It's like kind of like a sphere of blood, like trying to get some last blood. And young Thor's like, dude, give it a break, all right? I'm Thor. You can't do this. But he's about to go down, okay? And Thor actually jumps up, bites Gorr's eye out.
Bites his eye out.
Gorr's like, what is going on? This cannot be real right now. And he gets even madder. He shoves his face in it and activates the bomb with the last bit of blood. Okay? So, all over the universe, gods are dying. And you see that by like Ichor flying up them, right? And Gorr's wife is like, yes, you did it. You're the best. You are my god. And Gorr's like, what did you call me? You're my god. Look how amazing you are. Kills his wife. You're not going to call me god. Just like sword through her stomach.
Why even get married, man?
Because I guess
if the slightest thing sets you off, go
but
to couples
calling
therapy.
Gorr a god. Come on, man.
Just get some help. Talk to some friends. You know,
calling Gorr a god is the worst thing you could call him.
I got it, but if my wife called me some outlandish thing, I wouldn't be like. She was like, "You're a Nazi." I'd be like, "Well, we should discuss that."
Sure, not Gorr, man. He's angry as all heck.
Okay,
he's mad. Kills his wife. Forget about it. So as all this is happening, the gods are dying. His wife calls him a god. He kills her. Thor, the Avenger, is like,
how's he still alive? Isn't young Thor dead?
Dying. They're all dying, right? He's like mustering what he can of his final strength to just be like, let me try to do something. He calls both Mjolnirs, his and old Thor's, and he just starts pummeling at the bomb at the center of it. You know, there's kind of like a center, like blood pool to this bomb. And he's just pummeling it, doing everything he can. You see the Ichor flying up and like, and Gorr's like, how is this happening? What in God's name is going on? And old Thor's like, he's dying like a god. He's doing everything he can, which is what a god would do. And he's hammering. And he friggin' destroys the bomb. He gets it.
Blows up the bomb itself.
He blows up the bomb. I mean, it's not necessarily a bomb in the sense of a bomb that blows up.
It's like an EMP.
Yeah, it's just like this sweet double hammer slam into each other. And the bomb blows. And Gorr's like, what is going on? Right? And his son comes up to him and goes, looks like there it is. Gorr, the god of hypocrisy. After all, he turned out a god. His son's kind of like a dick to him after he sees what happened to his mother. Gorr, the god of hypocrisy. Right? We pan over to Thor. Now, not dying anymore, but his body is all black. Like up to his mouth. 2 Mjolnirs covered in black. And he says, now I know what this was. This is a god's weapon. And yes, it was meant to kill gods, but it was also meant to be wielded by a god. And he goes over to Gorr, double hammer slams him.
Does he not have the... Gorr doesn't have the power anymore?
No, it's gone.
What happened to it?
It's on Thor now.
It just moved?
It just was like, oh, this guy's pretty sick. He just took out the bomb.
This guy's sicker than Gorr's been for the last 3,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah, 3,000 years. It's been that long. I mean, more, right? Because it's 3,000 years and then a millennia forward.
Okay. So
I mean, imagine how badass Thor is, proving that, like, he's dying, but he's still doing everything he can to save everyone.
Yeah.
Right? He gives him a double hammer smash. Gorr's gonzo.
Done.
Now, Thor, with this thing on him, I think he calls out, like, this weapon is called Allblack, the necro weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's like killing him.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too much, right? And he actually just dies. Yep, I just said it like that. He just dies. And it says, and at that point, Thor died for the 9th time.
The 9th time?
Yeah, you know stories. How many times has Thor died?
Oh, yeah, he has died quite a bit. He was dead in Civil War.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, at this point, it's all lolly jolly God stuff. I mean, the story has wrapped up.
Yeah.
Right?
Does Old Man Thor... Is the timeline... How does that work with the timelines?
So
Also,
they all
is all of Old Man Thor's guys still dead, or did they prevent that, or...
No, all the gods that were on this planet are fine now. Who didn't die yet. Who were dying from the god bomb.
Like, did they save a future from happening or undo anything?
They don't go over all that.
How much of Endgame is in this? How much resetting
They don't
occurs?
go back and reset everything. But everyone that was on that planet who Gorr didn't kill but brought to be a slave.
Oh, he didn't
because that's
kill
the
all
thing.
the
Remember I said Gorr said to him, like, oh, I realized the one thing I needed. Slaves. He didn't say slaves before, but that's what he needed. Because to him, the Vikings protecting Thor were slaves. Because that's all he could see it as.
Oh, yeah.
So he needed the people to do the work.
There's no such
for
thing
him.
as a good god.
No, of course not. Of course. So we end up back in Asgard. Thor the Avenger wakes up and he's like, oh, how am I alive? And Odin Thor is like, yeah, I brought you back to life. Easy peasy.
How is Odin Thor still alive if his younger self died?
Man, I don't know. Don't ask me. I didn't write the comic, okay? It's not like that. Remember how they said it? It's not like Back to the Future. Didn't you watch Endgame? It's not like Back to the Future.
Okay.
It's just another timeline that exists, okay? Leave me alone. I didn't write it. I can't think of everything.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, this is basically the wrap-up, man. I mean, it's like, they're gods. All of them come back to Asgard. All the gods that were on that planet. And Odin Thor, or Old Thor, is like, yeah, people can stay if they want. They can go back to their home planets, help out, but we all learned a lesson. Be good gods. It's kind of lame to end on that, but that's kind of like...
It's just a very happy-go-lucky sunset, walking into the sunset.
That's how it ends. It's a walk into the sunset, Like, they saved the gods they could. They go back to their planets. They learned their lesson. You're like, help your planets. It's a heavy lesson to learn for all those people or gods dying. But that's it. You've learned the story of Gorr the God Butcher.
So, James, let me tell you about a comic.
Oh, please.
Yeah. There's a comic, it's a god comic similar to Thor, in which this guy gets more power the more that people like and subscribe to his channel.